Welcome back, guys. So it's Sunday morning, August 3rd, 2025. And I think we have another overhyped LLM called Horizon. So anyway, I thought we might just explore that together and do a few tests. Some people label it as GPT-5. It obviously is not GPT-5, but yeah, let's do a test. Apparently, it's supposed to be amazing in front-end development, UI, UX. So yeah, let's see what it is about. I hope you have your tea or coffee, and yeah, let's go and explore. Okay, so what we will be using today is a service called OpenRouter, which allows you to test and actually integrate with a bunch of different LLMs. In this case, and today we'll be looking at Horizon Beta. So if you want to test it now, this is probably the best time to do it because it is currently free, and it is a closed model, which means that someone has released that model to for user testing to get some feedback and so on. So anything you're going to kind of like prompting it to do, just don't put any sensitive information in. It definitely is going to be used by a third-party company. Why this is important? It is because it has been hyped quite a bit on YouTube and on X or Twitter as this is supposed to be an amazing model. Apparently, it's around, I think, 32 in size. So hopefully this version could run locally at some point. That would be really cool. Okay, so we will be using OpenRouter with the API and an extension called RuCode. As you can see, it is the most popular extension for testing these LLMs. So that's what we will be using it with. What we have to do first, if you want to test it, you have to create an API key. So if you you have to create an account, sign in, click on keys, and then create an API key. I have already an API key, but all you do is just create an API key. You can use VS Code. You can use any IDE that can have an extension from RuCode. And the way you have to set it up, because it's not available just out of the box, the way you have to set it up, you have to enable it on the API level. So if you go to providers, let me move my camera. If you go to providers, you select the provider. In this case, it's the OpenRouter. This is the API key that you just paste in. And once you do that, you should see all the LLMs available through OpenRouter. And there's just an incredible amount of LLMs. So I have only selected here the OpenRouter Horizon Beta. And as you can see, it supports images, so you can upload an image. So this is the setup. RuCode, again, extension running in Cursor. Okay, just to show you what I have here, I have just a basic Next.js application. There's nothing here. The page is actually empty. I've removed all the noise. The only thing that is here is the ShadCN components. So all the atomic and the high-level components from ShadCN are here. There's no custom theme as well. It's just your basic CSS that you get with ShadCN and Tailwind. One thing I'm anticipating it's going to have a problem with, it is going to be the fact that it is using Tailwind version 4. From my experience so far, Tailwind 4 is not the best when you're working with an LLM because I think it's too new. What I'm going to prompt it to do is actually create a clone of YouTube homepage, but it's going to be targeting LLMs. So it's going to be a LLM tube for teaching LLMs how to work and how to interact with humans. So we've got our prompt here. Let's create an LLM tube for LLMs to teach them how to interact with humans. And all I did, I just tagged the page that is open here and see what happened. One thing that is selected here is the code, not the architect. So let's send it off. Okay, after a few minutes, it made a lot of errors. I'm not sure if it's meant to actually work with Next.js or React-based frameworks. So we'll try and a kind of a pure basic HTML in a second, but I'm going to show you what the generation actually looks like. I mean, the vibe was supposed to be minimalistic and so on, but it just seems very lazy. In my opinion, it looks very basic, something you would expect out of a basic ShadCN component, I think, without any custom styling. So yeah, not impressed. Not super creative, I would say. Yeah, so let's go and try Tailwind, CSS, and pure HTML. Okay, we'll just create a Tailwind CSS and an HTML basic page. I did remove the information about styling. I want to see if I give it more freedom, if it is going to surprise us in a good way. So let's send this off and see what happens. Okay, so that was way, way quicker. I think it took like a minute. So it created a basic HTML page, which we'll look in a second at, and then the LLM CSS file as well, which is interesting. And as a bonus, it did create a favicon SVG. So this is the icon. So we will see how this all looks now. All right, so this is the page. Look at that. This is way better. Let me actually hide my face. There we go. Nice. Very nice. I didn't ask for dark mode. That's okay. It has quite a lot of actually UI elements in it already. We've got our section for the videos. We've got controls for sampling, so like temperature, token size. We can select the LLM, select the type or the personality, export, run. Yeah, it's not bad for a minute when it comes to generation. Not bad, not bad. Okay, I asked it to add a dark theme to our application. Let's have a look. Oh, there it is, a small button. There's the theme. Not bad, pretty nice. It didn't get the what is this? Like an alert kind of a UI, but that's okay. Yeah, it's really, really clean, I would say. Okay, so this might be fun. I think we're gonna try and use Claude 4, Still the King, and see how it does with exactly the same prompt, so we can actually compare the two side by side. So let's send it off. Again, basic HTML and Tailwind CSS page. Okay, so cursor Claude is finishing. Awesome. So it did create an HTML page. We'll preview it in a second. And it also created a README file. It did that because that's how my cursor user rules are set up to always have that present. There's no SVG. So that's one big difference between Horizon Beta and Claude 4. Okay, Horizon, very technical. It did generate the logo, LLM tube. It's very AI focused, I would say. It looks more like a playground in OpenAI where you can actually play with different LLMs. So maybe that's how it understood the prompt. I'll show you now what the Claude 4 generation looks like. So this is what Claude understood I need it to do. And it actually kind of mimicked the layout and the kind of a color theme of the YouTube platform, which is pretty awesome. Font awesomes for icons. The sidebar is not collapsing, but that's okay. Pretty awesome. I didn't specify the dark theme here. It just assumed. Maybe just kind of knew that YouTube is used the most in a kind of a dark theme environment. But yeah, I like the hovers. They're pretty awesome. Obviously, nothing works. We have titles. We have number of comments. Yeah, we have a few sample comments here as well. So it did understand the prompt slightly differently than Horizon. Again, kind of a side-by-side. Horizon, very technical. It kind of seems, the UI seems tight, like the lines. I'm not sure if you can see how it's all laid out. Yeah, it's really aligned. It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. If it is a model you can run locally and generate UIs, I mean, that's actually very impressive. Both would do the job. Which one? I'm not entirely sure is better. I really like this one. I really like the attention to detail and the alignment. There's something about it that just feels professional, I would say. Yeah. Okay, let's do one more test, last one. Let's try and generate a few icons. I've heard it's pretty good in generating icons, so we'll have a look. So if you go to Open Router, you can actually test the model. So that was quick. Okay, so if I copy it, we go to Tailwind, play, just paste the SVG. There it is, nice. It's not bad. One more icon. Let's create a monochrome icon of an arrow facing right in a circle in an outline style. Let's see what happens. Okay. Perfect. Let's just copy it, Tailwind play. Okay, not bad. It's not bad. It's a little bit small, but that's okay. Yeah, I mean, it should be centered, but for like a 2-second generation, it's really not that bad. Okay, so just a quick summary. It didn't impress me when it comes to using Next.js and Shadcn components. It just looks very boring and lazy. Obviously, you can take it from there and then customize the global CSS and make it look yours. I have a video how to customize Shadcn components, so they look pretty amazing. Have a look. I'm going to put a link somewhere at the top of this video. So we had a look at the generation of using Shadcn. Not impressed. We had a look at the generation of basic HTML using Tailwind CSS with 2 themes. Looks pretty tight. I really like the how it feels, how it's aligned. Yeah, makes me feel good, and it is something that I would definitely use just because it is well aligned. Everything kind of makes sense and so on. It's easy to navigate as well. The main thing is in the center. Pretty awesome. It did understand the prompt slightly differently to Claude 4. The UI is obviously different. It's more of a consumer, human consumer, not an LLM consumer. So in that sense, when I think about it, the Horizon actually understood the prompt way better than Claude, because Claude has created a UI which me as a human would use. Obviously, both would work when it comes to front-end and rapid prototyping. So yeah, if you want to give it a go, it's currently free. Just go to openrouter.ai, and then it's going to be on the homepage, as you can see, because it's very popular. If you click on the name, it's going to take you to the description of the model. You can have a read about it and so on. Just remember, this is what they call cloaked model. So just be careful what you put into the prompt. Maybe just toy with it. Don't put any sensitive data, because that's going to be used by a third-party company that is testing this LLM now. And if you want to have a chat in the Open Router environment, just click on the chat, and then you can ask, you can ask whatever you want to ask and test the generations. Again, is this overhyped? I'm not entirely sure. I really like what I'm looking at here. I really do. Even like the padding, I mean, this is, just before we go, I'm zooming in, so it's going to mess up the UI. But even the padding here, it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. I'm really looking forward to this. And I think next week there's going to be more and more announcements. So it should be a really fun week. All right. I'll see you later. Thanks.